I'm joined with the man, the myth, the Minecraft sensation, Wisp, also known as Kit. And a little bit of a backstory to this, me and Kit actually grew up together and we've known each other since we were really young. And yeah, so we've known each other for quite a long time. So today I'm going to be asking him what motivates him, what inspires him, and just getting to know him a little bit more behind the camera. At this current moment, Wisp is at 1.2 million subscribers. That's right, he has done very well for himself and he's at 1.2 million subscribers. Firstly, how old are you, Kit, for the people that don't already know?
I am 21 years old.
And wow, you've mounted that success at 21. That is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
What inspired you to start YouTube?
Inspiration for me came from watching... I watched a group of gaming YouTubers actually who played on a Minecraft server called Hermitcraft, and I just fell in love with it and wanted to make videos just like them. I pretty much copied everything they did and did it much worse when I first started.
I love it, that is awesome. Okay, was your dream always to be an influencer?
Not necessarily an influencer, that's something that I sort of realised that I have the power to be. I always wanted to make YouTube videos, and yeah, having an impact on people just came sort of as just a responsibility, as a side note, really.
Now, Kit, a lot of people I've interviewed have said that they've read certain books that have helped them get to where they are, and you know, so quite a lot of these books that they've read are motivational books or like self-help books. Have you ever read any books on like self-help? If so, which ones have you read?
I haven't personally read any. I read a book, oddly enough actually, I hadn't even come out of a relationship, but I read a book about rebuilding yourself after a relationship.
Okay.
I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically just about, yeah, learning to treat yourself with a bit more respect so that you're not too hard on yourself, because you don't strive hard enough if you're hating yourself.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Treating yourself with love and respect is the #1 thing. As they say, your body is a temple, so you have to treat it with the respect it deserves. Otherwise, you know, if we neglect our bodies, we're neglecting ourselves. So the main thing is to treat yourself with love and respect. I totally agree, 100%. Guys, remember, if you're at home, treat your body like it's your temple, and literally, I promise good stuff will start to happen. Kit, what would you say motivates you the most? Out of anything, what would you say motivates you?
Something that motivates me is doing better than I have before. So if I make a video and I think of an idea that's better, that will motivate me to make it, because I'm so competitive and I like beating myself.
So would you say you're always trying to improve yourself from your last video?
Yeah. Exactly.
Would you say that helped you with your YouTube journey and journey in general?
Yeah, I'd say that's why I've had the success I've had.
Perfect. Do you find yourself motivated by anything else?
Other people. So people, I currently live in a flat with 8 other people, and they motivate me because I see them working hard and that makes me want to work hard. And I suppose I feel guilty if I don't when they are, because I know that I can do better. So yeah, other people.
If you're not feeling motivated, right, what's your best way to get motivated and, you know, start feeling motivated? So what do you do to get motivated?
The thing that works for me is, if ever I'm feeling demotivated, I'll just put on some really loud music that I love and I know and I can just enjoy, and then I'll write a plan about how to structure my days a bit better so that I can fit in more time to do certain things. It's easier said than done, but that will get me back on track if ever I'm demotivated.
So, what would you say is your biggest passion?
That's a tough one. My biggest passion? Probably creating something. So if I have an idea, visualizing it and putting it into a video, that's the most fun part for me. It's the sort of the idea and constructing it together to make it interesting and to make it match what I'm thinking.
So kind of making an idea come to reality?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Do you ever deal with depression?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Okay, how do you deal with depression?
It's pretty similar to demotivation. I think they come hand in hand with me because my job is my hobby. So if I'm demotivated, then I get sad because I'm not working, and when I'm not working I feel useless. So generally, once again, it's just getting into a regular schedule, making sure that I'm not staying up too late or not just doing too many unhealthy things at the same time, and just listening to lots of music. That's my biggest way to make it through.
So what type of music do you listen to, Kit?
I listen to a lot of rock, mostly.
Okay, rock music, I like that. I can get how that kind of like pumps you up and almost makes you feel, you know, like you've got it, and you can, you know, you feel upbeat with rock music.
Yeah.
Do you ever deal with anxiety?
Not so much. I get anxious about things. I'll worry about videos, and I'll worry about things to do with myself sometimes, but not very often.
So how would you say that you cope with anxiety?
Talking to people. I'm not very good at it, but I've got friends who are in similar situations to me, and they'll have videos that perform badly, and just talking to them and having them tell me that it's not the end of the world, that helps a lot, because I've got very black and white thinking. So if I think something's doing badly, then I'll just assume that everything from then on is going to be bad, when obviously that's not the case at all.
Obviously, your job has quite a lot of pressure, and over 1 million people are relying on you to upload. How would you say that you cope with the pressure, and do you have any coping mechanisms that, you know, maybe you could recommend to people? How do you cope?
A lot of denial and deflecting. I don't tell myself enough. I don't remind myself enough that sometimes what I do helps people. Like, I've never thought of it like that. So sometimes that actually eases the pressure a bit, thinking, and actually I get a lot of DMs on Twitter or Instagram, people just thanking me for the videos I've made, which is crazy, but it just sort of relieves me, really, because then I know that I'm doing some good to someone, if not everyone.
What's your goals, and what's your next goal? If you were to set one, what would your next goal be?
My goals in general, over the next year, I'd like to learn a bit more, because I feel like I've got a bit complacent and I've got quite stuck in my ways over the past couple of years. So next year I plan on learning some new stuff and trying to teach myself new skills, like investing. I'd quite like to invest and take advantage of the situation I'm in and try and enjoy myself more.
Definitely good to enjoy yourself more. So you said your next goal is to invest?
Yeah, I'd say there's two: to invest and to travel.
A lot of people I know believe in the power of manifestation. Do you believe in the power of manifestation? Have you ever used manifestation before?
I don't know if I believe in the power of manifestation. I believe that if I want something enough, I will work hard enough to get it. But it hasn't always worked out, but I don't know if that's because I've given up, or I don't know if it's manifestation for me, but if I have a thought and I want to get it done, generally I will. But it doesn't always succeed how I expect it to.
Do you ever write down what you want?
Not necessarily what I want, but my ideas.
Okay. And then you act on your ideas?
I act on my ideas, yeah.
What's your dream for the future?
My dream would be to move into a house with like-minded people and make more. So do more involving myself and my friends, and not just strictly one type of content like gaming. I'd quite like to make more real life stuff that involves my friends and my family.
So, for me, myself, and for many others, we all want to start a YouTube channel. So what would your advice be to someone that wants to start a YouTube channel? And what would your main piece of advice be for them?
It's pretty simple, at least for me it has been. You stick to it. If you say I'm going to do something, like, it doesn't matter how much you upload necessarily, but if they're going to do it, I'd say, right, well, figure out a day that you're going to upload. If you're going to upload once a week, figure out a day, let's say Saturday, and stick to that day, the same time every single week, and never waver. And then people will learn that they can expect something from you, and your regularity it'll show you so many rewards.
So building on that, what's your best tip, would you say, to build your audience?
It would be to understand what kind of trends there are on YouTube and to pick one that they enjoy doing. Because if you don't enjoy what you're doing, people will be able to see through it eventually. And they won't enjoy it because you're not enjoying it. And you won't be able to push yourself to do it forever.
Perfect. What's something exciting that's happened to you recently?
Recently, I started university in September, and it's just been a whole nother world for me. So yeah, I've really enjoyed that, and I've enjoyed meeting new people.
Do you have any events or anything upcoming?
Yeah, so I hopefully, fingers crossed, with the situation in the world, hopefully it eases up, and in summer next year, 2021, I'll be able to go to VidCon in California.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
That's the dream.
That's going to be really, 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 really cool.
Yeah, it will be.
What's your ambition?
To enjoy everything I do. Sometimes I feel like some of the videos I've made in the past have been a bit of a chore to make because I don't enjoy them enough. But if I make sure that I'm enjoying every video I'm putting out, then I don't really mind how it does. So that also helps me with reducing stress and pressure, because if I'm enjoying it, then I'm not as worried about how it performs.
Enjoy everything you do. Going back to what you said made you want to start YouTube, do you think that Hermitcraft had anything that you thought maybe you could improve on? Was there any qualities they had? Yeah, would you say there was anything that you felt you could add?
I think what I thought I would bring to it, if ever I was in their situation, would just be my sense of humour, which obviously I find funny. And I think it would just complement their dynamic quite well. That was what I thought when I was younger anyway.
Humour, definitely. Do you think that's something that's helped? And also, I've noticed, you have a lot of clarity when you speak. Do you think that that's something that has really helped along, your YouTube journey and making videos?
Yeah, something I learned throughout making YouTube videos is that the clearer I talk and the funnier I find things, the more people enjoy. So even if it's not necessarily something that someone would laugh at, sometimes just the fact that I'm laughing at it, people will laugh at.
So like kind of like the Sidemen with their inside jokes kind of thing.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
You mentioned that you didn't really think of yourself as an influencer, but would you say that you hold a strong influence over your fans?
I don't think I have a large influence on people. I do think to some of my younger viewers that maybe they'll look up to me because they might want to do what I'm doing, just like I did when I was younger.
Perfect.
But yeah, I don't think it's as... I don't know, it's sort of, you see the tens of thousands of followers you have and you think, oh, that's a huge number, but I don't necessarily think it's a huge influence.
Okay.
Maybe that's just me though.
No, but I agree. That's kind of where I wanted you to go with it, and take that, because I was going to say, so going now back, when you almost were like your inspiration was Hermitcraft, you're now an inspiration to those who want to start YouTube as well, and younger fans as well. So you're an inspiration to them almost. So you're an inspiration to your fans. Do you have any advice that you would give to them?
One piece of advice that I just recommend everyone. I think it's so important that you just like yourself and enjoy yourself, because if you don't, then you'll struggle to enjoy other people and you won't make the most of it. So I think the biggest thing for me, something I'm always working on, is just liking myself a bit more, because I don't feel like I do it enough.
Absolutely. I think that's really important. Being able to like yourself, I think, is a key trait, and I think a lot of people that don't do it, they get put down very easily. And I think, do you think that the book you read helped with self-love, and do you think it helped you with everyday challenges that you may face?
Yeah, as I said, it was weird because I read it at a time when I hadn't been through a relationship, but I was just told it was a good book by my mum, actually. So I read it, and I think the main chapter that sort of stuck in my head was one called Moving Forward, which is just not forgetting what happened in the past, but just putting it aside and thinking, what can I do now to make my life better? And that's what helps me about that book.
Do you find that doing better than before means that you're more critical of yourself, almost?
Yeah, I do. I'm very critical of myself, and I don't give myself enough credit when I do things right. I only pick up on the things I've done wrong, generally.
What do you think about critics? Do you listen to all of that? What do you think about critics? Do you listen to all the advice that you get in the comments?
So I get a fair bit of hate just because it comes with the job, really. But yeah, if ever I read a comment that actually tells me something I'm doing wrong and how to do it better, to be honest, I really like that. I don't think I've ever been offended by it. It's only if people try and offend you that it's annoying. But generally, if someone gives me something better to do and I think I agree, then yeah, I'll do it.
What's your advice for dealing with bullies? What's your advice for dealing with cyber bullies, almost? What would you recommend in general?
If ever I've had any issue like that, it's just been to face my fears and just keep going, because I used to get teased for playing Minecraft when I was at school because it wasn't the most popular game back then. And now it's my job. I don't know, I was able to look past it, even though it hurt and it really did hurt my feelings at the time. I was able to think, you know what, I enjoy it too much to give up. And I was able to just sort of not let it bother me. Even though it did bother me, I was able to not let it affect what I was doing.
So would you say not to pay attention to the hate, right?
Just completely ignore it.
Just don't let it get the better of you.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly.
Okay, perfect.
So you mentioned that your flatmates keep you motivated. What traits do they have that you find keep you motivated?
I think the thing that pushes me is that they're a lot smarter than I am, and that impresses me, and it makes me want to be smarter, so I'm willing to work harder to try and, once again, to better myself and to beat a past version of myself, I suppose.
Bro, they're probably not smart today, bro. I'm sure you're. Don't put yourself down. Anyway, bit of motivation there. Don't do it, kid.
So you mentioned that rock music keeps you motivated and makes you feel pumped. Would you say that's always been the way, or when did it start?
That was something I learnt probably about 3 or 4 years ago when I moved out of my parents' house and moved in on my own. Because I could then play loud music without bothering anyone, I realised that just having a moment where I'm listening, having a good 10 minutes where I'm just listening to a song that I love and I can dance or I can walk around or I can sing along just makes me happy. And it was just by chance that it happened, and then now I do it all the time.
How do you go about planning things?
I'll start just by writing a simple structure, and by that I literally mean scheduling in when I'm going to eat my meals so that I don't get too hungry and get put off by the fact that I'm hungry or whatever, when I'm going to go to bed, when I'm going to wake up, and then just tasks in between all those things. So if I've got uni work to do, I'll usually put it in the morning, and then I won't do it because I'm a student. So, and then I'll put YouTube stuff generally in the afternoon. And YouTube for me, some of it's downtime, some of it I really enjoy enough to the point where it's actually quite relaxing.
What time do you usually wake up? What's your sleep routine?
Usually I wake up at 10 or 11 a.m. because I go to bed at around 3, 4-ish.
Oh wow. Okay. So you're getting about 6 hours?
Yeah, 6, 7 hours sleep. I would like more.
Is there an example of an idea which you actually brought to reality?
So one of my videos recently that I did about 2 months ago was basically, if I take damage or something bad happens in the game, then I get electrocuted in real life. And when I edited the intro of that together, because I edit all the intros of my videos, I wrote out a script. I had a perfect idea of what it was going to look like in my head, and then it ended up looking completely different, but I preferred what it looked like. And I'm pretty sure it was one of my best achieving videos, so I think because I enjoyed making it so much, that was why.
Awesome. So it's kind of like, would you say that goes for anything as well? Like if you enjoy it so much, because that's what they say, isn't it? They say get a job that you enjoy doing, or do something that you love, obviously. So would you say that that's kind of also the same? Would you say that's...
Yeah. Well, they say get a job that you enjoy and you never work a day in your life.
Exactly.
That sometimes, although there are stressful parts of my job, I wouldn't ever change it for anything. I love it.
So you say you cope with anxiety by talking. How would you go about advising someone who doesn't feel comfortable talking?
So the way I found it easier was by booking an appointment with a therapist and then talking to them, because it's easier to tell someone something when they know nothing about you, because then even though a therapist wouldn't, your mind sort of stops allowing that they can pass judgment, and you don't feel judged because it's their job to listen. And then that made me realise that it was okay to talk to people and that people will listen.
And then I'm guessing that kind of led you on to talk to more people about and
exactly.
safe spaces and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
You mentioned that you use denial and deflection a lot. What exactly do you mean by denial and deflecting?
Well, I think I don't like to think that I have a large influence, because I don't like the idea of that responsibility, even though I've never done anything bad and I don't think I ever would do anything bad that would negatively impact anyone. I don't like thinking about it, because then I worry and then I don't do what I'd normally do, and if I'm not doing what I'd normally do, then I'm not being myself. So if I say live in denial, even though that implies it's a bad thing, I think it's a good thing because it means I'm lighter on my feet and I find it more easy to be myself.
So that must be really challenging. How exactly do you go about denial when you see your videos are doing so good?
I critique myself, so I don't see when a video does well, or I do, I see it and it's great. But then if a video then does worse than that, that's all I pay attention to.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of what I mean by living in denial. I don't give myself credit for things that I should give myself credit for. And
we've got to work on that. Okay, you have to give credit to what you.
Yeah, I have.
Do you want to invest in? Because I was recently interviewing the student loan millionaire, and he said he wants to invest in gold, and he was telling everyone to invest in gold. What are you interested in investing in, and what would be your first port of call with investing if you were to invest? Are you investing at the moment in anything?
I'm not investing at the moment. I'm not being very smart about my finances. I'm not spending stupid money or anything. I'm just saving it. But I'd like to learn how to work the stocks and shares, because I think that's a skill that if I then have, could potentially help me hugely in the future.
Tesla stock, I've heard it's doing well.
Really? Okay. I'll have a look.
No.
Where would you like to travel to?
Biggest one's America. I'd love to go there. I've never been.
So I'm guessing you're quite excited for VidCon 2021.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited. I'd like to go to Japan. I've only ever stopped off in Asia when I flew to Australia 3 years ago. So I'd quite like to, I'd really like to go to Japan, China, Vietnam. I'd quite like to do quite a lot of backpacking and just seeing a lot of nature, because I don't think I see enough of it.
That's awesome. So, yeah, no, Asia sounds amazing. So, in Japan, would you stick around Tokyo, or would you go to other provinces?
Yeah, I'd quite like to go to Kyoto.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that less busy?
No, less busy than Tokyo, but still pretty busy.
Still pretty busy. Wow.
What are the top 3 things that you want?
I would love to learn to just respect myself a bit more and believe in myself a bit, because I think sometimes I'm just too critical. I would like to spend more time away from my job so that I can appreciate it more and spend lots of time with friends and family, because I also don't think I do that enough. I like to exercise more.
Okay.
Those are the 3 things I want.
Now, what top 3 materialistic things do you want?
Ooh. I'd like a car, because I can't drive right now and I'd like to learn how to drive.
Dream car?
Dream car, Range Rover Evoque, if I could have anything. Or a Tesla Model X. I like a new computer, mine's breaking a little bit. And a really, really overpriced camera. Just one that's just way more than I'd need it, but I want one.
Isn't Red equipment quite good for that?
Yeah. Big film cameras.
Would you ever consider making your own content house?
Maybe one day. I don't know. I suppose I'd have to have enough people that are in a similar situation to do that. And yeah, that would be awesome if I could. I would like that.
How can one understand trends better in YouTube?
Yeah, the way I learned was just by watching a lot of YouTube, and the content that I enjoyed watching, I decided to start making, and I got lucky, but I was consistent, so it wasn't all luck. And I tried my best to do things differently to how other people did, even though sometimes it was quite similar, but I tried to make it different. And I think people appreciated that.
Absolutely. So you're looking forward to VidCon, so you'll be there for 2021.
Yeah.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Is there anything that you don't enjoy at the moment?
Well, it's not that I don't enjoy what I'm doing, it's that I'm not doing as much as I could be, and that's what I want to fix.
Okay, my last question. Is there anything that you'd recommend to the viewers at home who have stuck around all of this video? What would you recommend to them at home, and what would your advice be?
Just that if you're making content and you want it to go somewhere, all you have to do is stick at it. There's no negative side. As long as you're not distracting yourself from important things, there's no downside to putting everything you've got into it and just trying to make it work. Because worst case scenario is that it doesn't work out, and that's a pretty good worst case.
Honestly, Kit, thank you so much for coming onto the channel. Guys, if you haven't already subscribed to Wisp, make sure to subscribe to the channel. His channel is over here. And guys, if you have never seen my face before, please consider subscribing over here. And also comment your questions down below and I'll try and pass them on to Kit and maybe get an answer. So guys, please comment your questions down below. And please make sure to leave this video a like for me and Kit. I really do appreciate you all. Also, if you guys want to see more content, make sure to head over to my other channel, AJ Riaz, where I'll be posting a video of me and Kit shortly. Take care and peace.